as a collection of Chinese scroll painting that they haven't been able to research. And his choice for their project was to allow these annotations because he really needs Chinese scholars to look at these paintings and identify the chops and identify the inscriptions for them. So again, it was up to the goal of the OSCE project was to try and let each institution solve a problem that they felt they had. So there is one group that's working on, you know, what it would mean to let people who have some authority annotate it.
So I would add to that, Holly, so I would call that expert tagging. So it's not really just sort of opening it up to the general public. And we also believe in invited sort of expert tagging. We have a project of Tibetan art we're working on, and it's very difficult to get that information researched and put online, just as Solly suggested with the Seattle Art Museum. So we plan to invite experts to help us with the tags. But
one other thing about the Seattle project is the curator there really had, who is, I don't know whether he was Taiwanese or China, I don't know where he's from, but he really had to overcome, when he comes to Asia to talk about this project, he really feels he suffers because his colleagues, he has to admit that he doesn't know. And he doesn't like admitting that he needs help. And he said that for him, it really is about saving face, and he's had to come to terms with what it means to embrace this kind of project.
Wow, that's really interesting. And he's never mentioned that in any of the meetings, so he must have been self-conscious about that. I'm glad you uncovered that.
Are there any more questions? Yeah, for you, yeah, please.
对刚刚讲的那个，在画上面局部改变颜色这一部分，提供给民众做这样的 study。那不晓得他们是不是有这种当代的画来收集？像当代的话，作者可能就有一些诠释或是一些创作的意见，本身作者的写的东西。那他们把这个画给一般民众去改颜色这部分，是不是会有这些的一些？要征询原来做的这样的一个问题出现在。当然，我们如果是收集到的那些古物之类的东西，比较可以做这样的 study。可是像当代作者的画作，是不是有这些其他的一些考量？
I missed the first part of the question, but if your question was completely about, you're asking if it can tamper with the actual artwork, or you just mean the artwork record or information about the artwork? Is that what you meant?
就是他有个刚刚 demo 一个，就是画的颜色局部可以让别人跟一家科技公司去合作，让别人可以改画的颜色变淡或者变深。那像很多美术作品、当代作品的话，作家本身都要求画必须要全幅的保留或者展示，不能够局部的修改或截取部分等等之类的。那像这样情况下，因为美术馆很多是保存当代的东西。
All right, I see what you mean. Well, certainly with those Impressionist art masterworks, rights issues are really big, important issues. But because there is an image of the full artwork that's always available at the side of the text, and you're referring to the conservation image. Let me see if I can find that for you. There's a slider which allows you to yes, make the final painting kind of, as you said, fade out, and then you would see the radiograph perhaps, or the UV image more strongly, so you could see what's underneath or inside the painting. And because you can always kind of slide back and forth to see the full image or the radiograph image, or make it large or small, so far I haven't heard of any problems with rights. Have you, Holly? No.
And And I think I think even the latest Impressionist ones they're using really works in public domain, but you're not really making a change. You're just showing.
Right. So they're not making a permanent crop for the image or a permanent modification. It's just temporary in order to fade it out. You can fade it back, and it's just a temporary. They're not really modifying the object.
And one of the real miracles about that particular part of the project is the work that they've done to map all of those different types of images, the X-ray thermograph, all of the things, so that you're actually looking at things that are mapped on top of one another. And that they said has been the most difficult part of the process.
Yeah. Did that answer your question? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, any more questions? Yeah, because I was going to mention, because Diana mentioned about this AAT Taiwan, this multilingual thesaurus project. Oh, you have one more question over there? Please.
想要请问，就是刚刚有提到说，芝加哥美术馆它是可以就提供那个原图，然后高解析度下载到 iPad。不过它这样子的话，它那个下载机制是什么？它有先压缩以后再解压吗？不然这样会不会原图它那个档案的解析度这样档案太大了？谢谢。
First, I'll mention that it's not just an iPad application. In fact, what we've decided at the moment is that these are web-based experiences that will read very well and look really good on the iPad and hopefully have most of the features of an iPad, but that's not an actual application, so you won't do that kind of finger swiping. So it's not quite the same, but we do want it to look good on the iPad. And if you're wanting to know the specific technical details about the resolution and the equipment that they've used, I'm afraid I don't actually know that, but I can certainly find out and let you know.
Much. Okay, time is almost up now. I think we would like to thank our speaker, Diana. Thank you very much for your presentation. Yeah.
Oh, thanks to you.
Yeah, I was mentioning that Diana earlier talked about this multilingual thesaurus project, talking art and architecture thesaurus, IAT Taiwan. I think we actually participate in the multilingual thesaurus project in cooperation with the Getty Research Institute, and they have this AAT project, and we participate as a AAT Taiwan. If you look at that the website AAT Taiwan keyword, you can find that more information about it. The idea behind this, as our previous speaker, Massimiliano, talked about it, you basically the idea is to try to allow access to different material using different languages. You can use the multiple languages to search for the same article, same artifact, same painting. So that's the essence of that, the multilingual thesaurus project. Okay, so we would break for lunch, take lunch break, and then the afternoon session would begin at 2 o'clock. I think lunch will be served where? Maybe you next.
Thank you for participating in the morning session. It's lunchtime. Please take your lunch coupon